Welcome to the Tech Data Azure training video series. My name is Sean Taylor, a solutions architect based in the UK. In this video we are going to look at creating an Azure backup vault for backing up a Windows server. So to begin with, the Azure subscription is up and running. So we're going to start off by creating the backup vault, so that's done by selecting new. It's a data service, so we're going to select data service and recovery services, and in this particular instance we're going to create a backup vault. So we'll pick the region, and this will be North Europe, and we'll give it a name. So Tech Data Server Backup. Oops. Fantastic. So we'll create the vault. So this is the location where we're going to control the backups from. So once that's been created, we'll select the backup vault. Just get rid of some of these jobs. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do within the vault itself, and you can have as many vaults as you wish, is download the Azure credentials. This is where the certificate is stored, and this basically proves identity between the machine that you're backing up and the Azure subscription. So if we download those credentials, okay, so we're going to save. Let's save that into documents. That will do for the time being. Okay, so that's the credentials downloaded. What we now need to do is pull down the actual agent. So you can see from here that there are two different agents depending on which version of server you're using. And also fairly recently the ability to back up Windows clients was also introduced. So we'll select that one, and we are going to save that one, and let's put that in the same location. Okay, so the download is completed successfully, so we have our agent to install, so let's install that on the server. Again, it's up to you where you actually choose to install the agent software. I'm going to leave it in the default location. I don't need a proxy in this particular instance, but obviously if you do, please make sure you configure it. For this particular demonstration we're not going to use updates, but again that's a decision up to you, and it's also checking prerequisites. Okay, so that seems to have been successful. We're going to go to the registration. Okay, so this is where I need to browse for the credentials we downloaded earlier, which is that one. Fantastic. You can, if you wish, choose to input a passphrase of your own choosing. Again, for this one I am going to choose to get it to auto-generate. It's also a really good idea to back this up to a centralized location. Please don't do what I'm doing. This is not a best practice. So let's have a look. Let's bob that into class files and finish. So this is registering the server with the Microsoft Azure Vault. Important to point out that the backup service does not require a site-to-site VPN. it can communicate without that, unlike some of the other services that do actually require a site-to-site VPN. So the server is registered. So this is now going to launch the backup. Okay, so this is the admin console for this local backup. So you can see from here I can register another server. We've got the ability to back up, recover. We can change the properties. So let's schedule a backup. So again, it's asking us what we want, where we want to back it up. So let's start this one, and this is where we're going to add in the items to be included. So this is where you would browse through the appropriate data. So let's have a look in here, and let's back up our class files, tools folder. In fact, yeah, let's just do tools. Okay. So again, you pick the appropriate items. You can also set exclusion settings if you want to exclude certain file types or folder locations, for example. So we'll leave that with the default. We then got defining the schedule. So am I going to do daily, or do I want to do weekly? So let's say that we want to do hours weekly. So let's have a look at the time on the server. So we are quite early in the morning. Let's do 1:30 a.m. and it's Monday today. We're not going to do 2 more. We'll do it every week. And again, you would configure the schedule as you see fit for the data and the servers that you wanted to back up in the production environment. I've then got my weekly retention policy, I have my monthly retention policy, and I have my yearly retention policy. So again, we can modify these. Pretty much text me back, pick what I want from there. So this is basically using the data from the previous screens. We can choose our retention intervals. And again, mine's slightly different because I've chosen a weekly backup, but if you're choosing a daily backup, it's up to you how you configure that. So I'm happy with those settings. So if we next that one, okay, specify the options to be used by Azure Backup to create the initial backup copy. So if you were backing up a fairly large quantity of data, bearing in mind the first backup has to be a full backup. It depends on the connection that you've got as to whether or not over the network would be sufficient. So you could do an offline backup and then use the import facility within Azure, which is charged on a per storage device setting. So I can't remember the price exactly off the top of my head. Mine's relatively small, so we'll just do over the network, but in this instance you would effectively seed the backup job, store it to removable media, send the removable media to Microsoft. They would do an import job using the credentials. Once that's been done, it will then start doing the changes from that first backup. So if we next that one, confirmation, and creating the backup schedule. Okay, so that's been created successfully. And if I have a little scroll down, we should be able to see that if I need to do so, that backup job will complete hopefully in about 13 minutes time. But if I wanted, I could edit the policy. So this is opening the one that's already there, and see it's pulling the information that I've already put. Do you want to make changes? Do you want to stop this backup but keep it? Do you want to stop it and delete it? I just want to make changes. And again, in here we could really pretty much run through exactly the same thing. So I could edit the files that were being backed up. We could say, do you know what, we want to do that daily at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then we've got our daily backup retention interval, weekly, monthly, so on and so forth. So we could edit this appropriately and then finish. So we've created it and then we've edited it within 12 minutes, he says. Hopefully we will have actually had a successful backup. So we'll leave that there, and once the backup has been completed, we will resume the video. So as you can see, we've got to 1:30 AM and the backup has just populated, or the backup job has just populated, should I say, and we're now in the process of actually undertaking the backup. So within a few minutes or so we should have a backup. I could have selected backup now, but preferred to show you that the schedule option does actually work rather than me just manually kicking it, which would have worked. Okay, so you can see from there that the job has now completed successfully, and we've got the details with regards to the status, so we can view status messages. We can look at the recovery points, and we can view the details. So now that that job has been created successfully, if I just minimize that, and if we go back to our backup vault, okay, so we've got the vault itself, and if we go and look at our registered items, that is our server, and we have protected items, which are files and folders. Okay, so we can see that that job has been created successfully. You'll see that there are a number of preview features in here. One of the preview features is presently the fact that you've got the ability to back up full Azure virtual machines. So we've proved that the backup has been successful and it's registered within the Azure backup vault. Let's go and see if we can do a recovery. So if we go back to the virtual machine, we have our successful backup. So if we look at recovering data, so first of all, what we're actually doing, identify the server the backup was originally created on. So that was that one. What do you want to do? Do you want to browse or do you want to search? We'll browse, which will mount the appropriate volumes. So that's C. This is where I would see a list of all the backup dates. So any bold date would be where a backup had been taken. So, and again, if you take multiple on the same day, you could select from the drop down list. So we've only got one, so we'll select that one. Let's have a quick look and wait for that to expand. So we've got our class files, and we should have tools. And you can see from there there's an Azure Active Directory folder which has got a piece of software in it. So we could choose to recover. Let's choose to recover that one next. So where do I want to put it? Do I want to put it in the original location or do I want to put it in an alternate location? Let's put it in an alternate location. And if we go and put that just into class files. Okay, again, when items in the backup are already in the recovery destination, what happens? Do we keep the access control list permissions? That's that one, and recover. So the job has been completed, and again we can see a status message within the console. So if I open the Windows Explorer, and save all, class files, tools, and there is the recovered data. So in this video we have created an Azure Vault. We have downloaded the credentials and installed the software. We've created a backup schedule. We have watched that backup successfully take place. We proved that the vault has been updated with the information regarding what's been backed up, and then we've been able to do a recovery to an alternate location, and the process is absolutely identical if you were backing up a Windows client as opposed to backing up a Windows server.